All right, our next section is about ensuring children's safety. After you listen to this, you should be able to explain why adequate supervision is essential throughout childhood, list examples of how safety measures should change with the growth and development of your child, define childproofing, and identify 3 examples of indoor and outdoor hazards, as well as identify safety standards for at least 2 types of child items, describe the importance of safety recalls in using safe child items and toys, list 5 safety standards for young children's toys, and summarize 3 guidelines for teaching children safety lessons. Accidents claim the lives of more children than any other major childhood diseases. High accident rates among children are due to many factors, such as lack of supervision and unsafe equipment and toys. By the toddler years, children have the gross and fine motor skills to reach almost anything and get into potentially dangerous places. Children depend on adults to protect them by supervising them and creating a safe environment. Teaching safety lessons can make children aware of the need for safety. Parents and other adults worry about how to protect children from violence and strangers who may hurt them. Many adults, though, don't think about the 2 major threats to children's safety, which is lack of constant and adequate supervision and home hazards. Children are much more likely to be injured in an accident at home than by a stranger's crime. No safety device or lesson in the home can take the place of an adult's eyes and ears. Accidents happen more often when adults do not carefully supervise children. When adults are talking or texting on the phone, watching television, working on the computer, visiting a friend, feeling ill, or in any way preoccupied where they're focused on another task, accidents are more likely to occur. Accidents may also take place when supervision is unsuitable or lacking, such as when older children supervise younger children or when children, especially school-aged children, are home alone for a brief time. Part of supervising children is watching closely to anticipate the possible hazards a child may face as they grow and develop. Adults often refer to developmental milestones, which outline the sequence of skills their children will learn to identify upcoming potential hazards. Okay? Some common accidents children are likely to experience during each stage of development include during infancy. They can get burns from hot water faucets or open heaters, falls from changing tables or carriers or stairs, injuries from swallowing small objects or putting them in their eyes, ears, or nose, drowning, strangling on cords, or smothering from items like dry cleaning bags or balloons, suffocation under blankets, pillows, or soft objects, injuries from sharp or broken objects like glass, plastic, knives, sharp-edged furniture, injuries caused by pulling on cords, injuries from electrical outlets, mishaps while using walkers, strollers, or riding toys. During the toddler years, drowning in bathtubs, burns from cigarette lighters or matches or open flames or stoves, poisoning from medications and cleaning agents, injuries from dangerous objects like knives, electrical outlets, breakable objects, toys with small parts, injuries caused by getting into almost anything that is not locked or equipped with special devices, injuries caused by falls from high places, jumps onto dangerous surfaces like concrete, falling off on riding toys or swings or slides, injuries caused by playing in driveways and roads and darting across streets, injuries caused by swallowing small objects or putting them in their eyes, ears, or nose, eye injuries due to dust and sand. And then in the preschool years, the most common injuries are poisoning from medications and household products, injuries from being around or using home, shop, and garden tools, injuries related to action games, bicycles, and rough plays, various injuries from hazards such as old refrigerators, deep holes, trash heaps, construction sites, drowning, burns from electrical outlets, appliances, and open flames, traffic injuries, injuries from vehicle doors, getting locked in car trunks, and putting the car in gear. Lastly, school-aged kids, sport-related injuries, drowning, firearm and fireworks accidents, and traffic injuries. In order to create a safe environment, potential hazards are identified within a child's environment. Adults can implement safety measures to neutralize those hazards. For example, a child who can crawl up one step or onto any low object can soon climb an entire flight of steep stairs. To prevent the child from falling, you might install a child safety gate with locks for the stairs as soon as the child begins to crawl. As you carefully supervise children's development and see their growth occur, you can adjust and implement different safety measures accordingly. You can create a safe environment both indoors and outdoors through childproofing and selecting and using child-safe items and toys. All right, childproofing is the process in which adults note dangers in a child's environment and then make the area safe for the child. Childproofing an environment often takes place before the baby is even born. Parents can choose to childproof either through a professional childproofing service or on their own. A professional childproofer inspects the home so he or she can assess the need for safety devices. The service is expensive but includes the cost of the device, safety devices, and installation. Indoor and outdoor environments in or around the home pose the greatest hazards to children. Home structure, general furnishing, rooms, and household items kept in or near the residence all hold threats for young children. Each home is alike in some ways in that it contains doors, windows, electrical outlets, and different in others. Stairs, no stairs furnishing. The dangers adults look for will vary based on the layout of the home. There are, however, common indoor and outdoor hazards. These hazards may include unstable furniture, blinds and curtains, loose rugs, windows, firearms, hinged doors, poisonous plants, rocks, broken glass, ruts, holes, and old or homemade playground equipment. Childproofing measures in or around the home will also vary based on the temperament of the child. Sometimes a child's personality, like being really curious and loving to climb, may call for additional childproofing measures. By taking measures to create a safe environment in and around the home, you can prevent or at least minimize various injuries that might befall children. Okay, so some common things that you can do to childproof indoor hazards would be to put colorful decals on doors at children's eye level, use door stops and door holders to prevent pinched fingers, use electrical outlet covers or other safety devices. If safe, place heavy furniture in front of outlets so kids can't get into them. Never put climbable furniture near windows. Install window guards. Use non-skid pads under rugs. Tape loose edges of rugs to floor. Cut or loop blind cords or place them on cleats. Use cord blinds if possible. Keep young children away from curtains and use short curtains if possible. For outside the home, as much as possible, remove places where children can fall, like landscaping and uneven surfaces. Research current safety standards and ensure equipment adheres to these standards, like if you have play equipment. Use rubber and another gentle material instead of wood chips. Make sure all outdoor plants are non-harmful if eaten. Keep children away from poisonous plants. Children require many child items such as high chairs and cribs and play with a variety of toys. Unfortunately, children's items and toys cause many injuries each year. These are injuries that could be avoided if adults knew which safety features to look for when selecting child items and toys. Properly storing and maintaining items and toys can also help in avoiding injuries. All items and toys need to be used under adult supervision, even if the items and toys are deemed safe. Children's items do not include items used in the home such as the crib, changing table, high chair, play yard. Items also include those used by children outside the home, such as a stroller or certified safety seat. Certified child safety seat, also called a car seat, is a restraint system for children under the age of 13, which is required when riding in a motor vehicle. Certified child safety seats, which are fitted to the child's size, have been tested and approved by federal agencies. Over the years, child items have evolved to meet more rigorous safety standards. Some safety standards, such as no lead paint and 2 3/8 inch space slats on cribs at play yards, are now required by law. Items that are homemade or made prior to the enactments of the laws may not meet safety standards. All child items are sometimes subject to safety recalls issued by manufacturers. In a safety recall, the manufacturer of a product issues a notice stating the product has been found to be unsafe. Consumers are asked to stop using the recalled unsafe product unless the manufacturer can provide additional parts that will make the product safe. When selecting safe child items, the use and installation of these items is as important as the initial selection. For example, unless certified child safety seats are installed and used properly, they offer little or no protection for a child in a crash. For this reason, it's important to read directions for all child items carefully. Most new toys that are unsafe for infants and toddlers will carry warnings like not intended for children under 3. Other items like lawn darts cannot be sold in toy departments or toy stores because they are dangerous for children to use. When selecting children's toys, you need to carefully examine the toy for safety features, read all warning labels, and heed any recommendations they give. Toys should be checked for durability and any unsafe small parts. Adults can also ensure children's safety by testing noisemakers for volume, avoiding toys that fly or shoot, and purchasing proper safety gear like helmets and pads for ride-on toys. Adults can select age-appropriate toys for their children by remembering that age is only a clue to stage. Toys need to be appropriate for the child's physical skills, their ability to use the toy, their intellectual abilities, which is understanding of how to use the toy, and their interests. Age-stage safety features can make appropriate toys even safer. After purchasing a toy, it's important to discard the toy packaging. Styrofoam, plastic, small plastic ties, and other packaging materials are safety hazards for young children. Keeping safety information about child items in a file folder can help adults check recall information or make a complaint if necessary. Child items and toys require appropriate space for storage. In some cases, the size of a toy during use and non-use is about the same, such as a toy truck. In other cases, toys in use require much more space than they do when stored, such as building blocks. When storing toys, adults should consider the following. Find indoor storage spaces near where each toy can be safely used. Store outdoor toys where they can be secured when not in use. Store all toys in spaces without cluttering, which is being filled with lots of objects, and use special storage cabinets or shelves as needed. Parents and caregivers should stay aware of safety recalls. So where do you think adults can go to find current information about safety standards and recalls? I want you guys to think about that. Toys and child items tend to be used often and sometimes roughly. Adults can take care to maintain these objects and should check for the following. Recalls issued by the manufacturer or the Consumer Product Safety Commission, sharp points, jagged edges, and loose parts, removable parts that are small enough to fit inside a child's mouth, rust on outdoor equipment, stuffed toys and dolls that must be repaired and cleaned, batteries not secured by a cover with a screw to prevent the removal of the cover, so they put the battery in their mouth. Children can seriously injure themselves with broken toys. Adults should remove any broken toys from use, properly dispose of those that cannot be fixed, and repair any other broken items before they put back in use. Adults can also add safety devices to child items and toys. If a toy chest is not properly ventilated, which means accessible to the air, an adult can drill a few air holes. If skates move too fast, adults can place a piece of adhesive tape around the wheel edge. To remind children not to hold the chains of the swing too low, you can mark the chains with tape at the proper holding height. In addition to supervising children and using safe items and toys, adults can ensure children's safety by teaching their children how to be safe. Children often engage in unsafe behaviors because they are trying to achieve goals. While adults cannot always change children's goals, they can help children meet these goals safely. For example, when an infant wants to climb, a parent might let an infant climb up and down a single carpeted step. This environment is safe to explore, even if the infant takes small tumbles. Small risks teach children to cope with possible dangers. A steep staircase, however, poses too great a safety risk for such a young child. Teaching safety is an ongoing practice that begins almost at birth and continues for life. The first lessons occur in the home and yard. They expand to include the total environment, such as school, water, traffic, and job safety. Adults can teach safety to young children in the following ways. Be a model for children. A child will absorb adults' approaches to everyday actions and safety measures, such as buckling seatbelts and looking before crossing streets. Adults may even exaggerate behaviors to make safety measures clearer for the young child. They may stop, look, and say, "I don't see a car coming, so I guess we can cross now," before walking across the street. Explain the boundaries of play. Show as well as tell children what they can and cannot do. Warnings are more helpful if they are stated in positive ways. An adult may say grass is for playing and streets are for cars and trucks. Warnings stated in negative ways may tempt children to act unsafely. Also, warnings that are repeated too often will lose their meanings. Couple warnings with reasons. When communicating safety rules, adults can explain the reasons for these rules. For example, an adult may say, "I want you to put on your seatbelt because it will protect you if we make a fast stop or get into a crash." Insist on obedience. To insist on obedience means taking action against wrongdoings, not simply making inactive threats or punishment. Taking action does not call for physical punishment, but rather discipline appropriate for the action. For example, an adult might say, "If you don't put on your life jacket, you will not be allowed to play in the water." The adult could then enforce that limit. Practice safety measures with children. Adults can practice many safety measures with children, including safe walks to school or other places, fire drills, and evacuation plans. To support safety lessons, you can encourage children to talk about, act out, or illustrate safety actions. Okay, that's the end of section 2. Thanks, guys.